Day 49. I'm reading Reader Come Home by Marian Wolf, page 182. The third hurdle, equal access. If we are serious about leveling the playing field for American learners, we must square off with the complex relationship between digital access and inequality. A significant segment of American children have very few books in the home and little or no access to digital devices other than overused cell phones. According to Robert Putnam and James Hackman, the number of families in underprivileged environments is growing rapidly. They do not have the luxury of worrying whether there is too much digital exposure to or too many enhanced ebooks for their children. They have neither books nor computers. These families undoubtedly represent a goodly portion of the 10,000 fourth grade students in the study. In a study by the U.S. Department of Education showing that children in the lower quality quartiles write less well on computerized tests. The report ended with the statement that use of computer may have widened in the writing achievement gap. Children who has less exposure to books have different vocabularies and different experiences with stories and plots long familiar to other children. Children who have less exposure to digital devices and computers have a more difficult time keyboarding and much less practice using a digital medium to record their thoughts on computer-based tests that may a parent and teacher as well as this author would approach with mixed feelings. If we are to fashion a code-switching reading brain for all our children, we need to figure out how to deal with both often-cited achievement gap and the less discussed digital culture gap. In a superb report entitled "The Opportunity for All, Technology and Learning in Lower-Income Families," Victoria Rideout and Vicky Cox described a survey of more than 1,000 families in a low to moderate income range. There are two different kinds of digital gaps in these families. One involves access to digital tools. The other, as described by the researcher Henry Jenkins, has to do with participation, where parents have little ability to provide either guidance or high-quality apps, leaving children to be more entertained than helped in their educational lives. This report made clear that although most of the families surveyed were connected digitally in some way, many used only cell phones, most of which were overused and over their data limits. Only 6% of families had signed up for the discounted service available in principle to low-income families. The author summarized their findings by saying that access is no longer just a yes or no question. The quality of families' internet connections and the kinds that capabilities of devices they can access have considerable consequences for parents and children alike. Let me underscore, merely having access does not ensure a child's ability to use digital devices in positive ways. Susan Newman and Donna Solano described one of the most discouraging studies to date about digital access in the report of an initiative within libraries in Philadelphia. The noble intention of the study was to investigate the effects of providing books and digital access in libraries to underserved children and families. The result ran counter to every hoped-for outcome. Simply providing access to digital tools to underserved children could actually have deleterious effects if there was no participation by parents. The children in that study did significantly worse on tests of literacy than other children did, and the disparities between groups increased after technological devices were introduced, particularly when the children used them for entertainment purposes. This study highlights a pivotal and persistent mistake in the use of digital technology for education. The positive effects of digital learning cannot be reduced to issue of access or exposure. An assumption still held by many well-intended technology experts is that digital exposure alone will lead to huge synaptic leaps in learning, including in literacy. Such notions have their provenance in the well-meaning but ultimately over-romanticized assumption that children's innate curiosity is sufficient to propel learning and literacy. Curiosity and discovery are wonderful, fruitful, and necessary, but insufficient, as Newman and Solano's work underscored. Children can learn a great deal about digital literacy without learning very much about how to become literate. Okay, I should stop here. Please correct me if you can. Thank you.